Good evening, Guyana, and welcome to another program presented by the TUF, the United Force. Myself, I'm Victor Allen, Dr. Victor Allen. To my immediate left, we have our presidential candidate, Ms. Marissa Nadir, and to my right, we have Roy Vantal, our prime ministerial candidate. Do enjoy our program and stay tuned with us. At the last segment of the program, we have a live call-in session where you can interact with us. So without any further delays, Ms. Nadir, can I go right ahead and bombard you with some questions, or would you like to make any statement to the public before we start?
Well, first of all, we'd like to thank all the persons who called us and commented on the program which was aired on Wednesday night. Your comments have been well received and it's been very encouraging, and we would like to encourage more persons to give us feedback so that we can better suit your needs and serve your needs.
Thank you. Mr. Roy Vantal, would you like to say a few words before we begin?
Yeah, thank you very much for having me on this program. Just a matter of caution to those who will call towards the end of the program. But we from the TUF, we want to be better politicians rather than to be better politicians, and we prefer civility over confrontation. So please, when you call, don't curse anyone, don't ill-talk anyone. Let us stick to our plans of building a better Guyana so that everyone can enjoy a full life as was propagated by the TUF since 1964.
Just to add to that, we will be signing the GCOM's Code of Conduct. So in keeping with the conditions and the stipulations in that Code of Conduct, we ask that this program be conducted in a manner that is civil.
Okay, no problem. Okay, on this program we'll be dealing with some of the, at least three, with the time that we're given, half an hour. We'll try to deal with the manifesto and some of the action plans that we have for the agenda for our electorate. So my first question, I will pose it to our presidential candidate, Ms. Nadir. Please tell me, I see here that you have stated in your action agenda that you will be engaged in more effective and efficient government services. Can you give us a breakdown, just a bite, so that the electorate, the Guyanese, the larger public can have an idea what the TUF intends to do once they gain parliamentary seats or the presidential? They win the general and regional election of Guyana come May 11th.
First of all, what we term as the action agenda is not, we are not having a manifesto this year. What the executive has decided is that we're going to have an action agenda because through the years, the United Force, since 1964 and onwards, has always had very detailed manifestos, and the plans that were stated and provided for in those manifestos are still applicable to date. So what we have done is looked at the past manifestos and extracted from it, and also with what's applicable today, newer issues, effective and efficient government services being the primary issue right now that the executive sees needs to be addressed.
Can you give us a few examples?
By effective and efficient government services, what the plan is on the action agenda is to actually revamp the public sector, because in our outreaches that we've been conducting throughout the administrative regions of Guyana, a lot of persons have expressed frustrations with the services provided by government agencies.
Okay.
This could be ranging from passport office to the post office to dealing with GRA, a whole host of them. And what persons in Guyana feel, and it seems to be the case, where the attitude of these public services and government services is that they're doing the Guyanese public a favor in conducting their day-to-day business. And it's not being done in an effective and efficient manner.
Okay.
So on our action agenda, the executive and the United Force is proposing that we revamp that public sector, where we make, for example, if you're importing, that customs, the documentation that you need to get, that should be done in 48 hours. Within 48 hours, there's no reason why business persons should have their containers at the wharves for over a week, 2 weeks, especially if they have perishable goods. There's no reason why a normal citizen of Guyana can't go to the post office and say, I need to get a new birth certificate, and they can't get it instantly at the same time. That they have to wait a month, 10 days. If you're in the interior region, sometimes 2 to 3 months, and you still don't get it. There's no reason why a letter being posted in Berbice can't get to Georgetown within a matter of days.
Okay. Mr. Roy Vandal, can I pose that question to you also? As Prime Ministerial candidate, how do you plan to make your office assist the Guyanese citizens at large in providing better or more efficient and effective government services for the people of Guyana?
Well, first of all, we have to use our time efficiently. And North Americans will tell you time is money.
Yes.
And in Guyana, we waste a lot of time, especially at the government level. If you want to do any government transaction at any time, you have to take day off, or sometimes days off,
Yes.
just to complete your transaction with the government. And it should not be so. There are other countries that treat Guyanese better than how Guyana government treat Guyanese. Guyanese go overseas and they can do businesses with government institutions within a day, sometimes within 2-3 hours. They can get through with the documents. If they want to import goods and services from other countries, sometimes in 2-3 hours they already have their documents so they can travel. In Guyana, it takes 3 days to a week. And if you import a container, it takes 2-3 weeks for you to get it out. So our business people, they are frustrated. Then people have to travel far away from Berbice and Essequibo, and for example, for passport, and they will finish till about 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Those who live in Essequibo can't travel back because speedboat stops working at 6.
Okay.
So,
can
can't
I
they
ask,
have those services in
I don't
their
mean to
countries?
cut. So, are you suggesting that your administration will be putting into place, for example, the passport office, the GPO, where they can issue birth certificates and marriage certificates in each and every region of Guyana? Would this be the case?
Not each and every region, but where you have a large population, they should have that access.
These facilities should be in place.
These facilities should be there, where you have a large population.
Okay. The other thing I wish to ask is, you are speaking about the clearing of containers. I know we have, I think the huge ships, the container ships. I think I hope I'm saying this right. If they can enter into the Demerara River, and what about the Berbice River? Is it possible that we can create maybe a wharf system within the Berbice River so as to accommodate, instead, if a businessman is from Quarantine or New Amsterdam, can we design such a system in Guyana where we can have these facilities set in place that you don't need to come to Georgetown?
Of course. It is in our action agenda that Berbice and Essequibo, they need container terminal, and they need deep harbor wharf. All the services that are in Georgetown, they must have access to it. And it is easy because they already have certain offices. They already have a GRA office, they already have a police station or an immigration center. So it's easy just to
implement
this government services. And besides, the people who work in the public sector, they are called public servants. But the way how they treat the public is like they are public bosses.
Okay. Okay, Ms. Nadir, question for you. With respect to the birth certificate, the marriage certificate, getting your paperwork, would you be putting in place utilizing the information technology to make these documentation accessible via online services?
Well, right now, we have to get the entire system computerized, because going through the manual way or the old-fashioned way of checking logbooks and seeing, it's taking a lot of time. So first and foremost, you need to have the system computerized, where everything is, you can have a database and you can access Dr. Victor Allen was born so, this is his date, and you get that. But before we continue spending the entire program on government services, actually I would like to move on to the second point, where we speak about taxes. And for this, I would ask Brother Roy Fantol to address.
Well, taxes is a big issue, and the high rate of taxes that are being charged in Guyana is how the government of today gets revenue to run the country. And the United Force stands for a people enterprise economy, which means that the people must be entrepreneurs, they must have businesses and employ people and do large scale businesses. And because of that large scale of business, we can earn more taxes by implementing lower tax rates.
Okay.
And so when it comes to PAYE, pay as you earn tax, or the income tax, the United Force want to drop the threshold to 25.
Increase the threshold.
The tax rate from 30% to 25%.
Okay.
And then to see if over time we can reduce it every year by 1%, and so perhaps we can stop at 22%. Whilst we want to increase the threshold to between $75,000 and $80,000.
Okay.
Why we want to do this? Because presently a family of 4, if they want to survive by eating healthy food or a balanced diet, then at least they have to get $75,000 per month. Because if you want to eat a balanced meal with greens and so forth, and for your breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right, it comes up to about $45,000 a month. Then you have traveling to go to work and come back. You have your light bill, your phone bill, and other expenses to send your children to school and to give them snack money. It comes up to about $75,000 to $80,000. So if you don't earn that amount of money, you can't do much. And so the higher your income, the more you will spend.
Yes.
The more you spend, the more businesses will make money. So the more people come to a shop, the businessman will have to employ more people.
A question, but some people might say reducing the taxes means that the government will have lesser funds accessible to provide services. So what will be the compensatory mechanism to provoke that
The increased
money?
economic activity will bring more income. I will give you one example. The TUF wants to abolish property tax, and we also want to abolish the stamp licking tax. That is revenue stamps. You know, you lick it and you paste it on a
Receipt.
Yes.
We can imagine managers doing that nowadays.
Well, they have the adhesive now, so
Well,
you
now
stick
they
it.
have adhesive and just stick it.
Okay.
Good. The stamp licking tax brings in about $200 million.
And you were saying that you want to eliminate it?
Yes. The property tax brings in about $800 million. When you add both of them, it comes to about $1 billion per year. That is what we get in revenue from revenue tax and property tax. Now, most of the people who pay property taxes and who pay for the stamp licking tax are business people, because they have to write receipts and they have big buildings. So the value of the buildings are very high, so they have to pay a lot of property tax. Now, if you give them this $1 billion every year, they will spend it back in the economy. They will want to beautify the buildings. They want to employ more people, right? And do bigger businesses. Now, the spin-off of it is that we can make $7 billion in extra income for the country, and the VAT alone on that will be again about $1 billion. So it is what we call like a tax neutral policy. You give 1 billion, and you get 1 billion again in VAT, much less income tax and other types of consumption duties and so forth.
Okay. Besides that type of revenue production, are you looking into any way of production to create that type of revenue?
Well, that is what the United Force want to do. To go into production, manufacturing companies and give it to the people. Not the government must be part of it. For example, we hear the PPP government wants to open a rice cereal factory in Essequibo. Who will be the shareholders? The government. Well, this is what we call communism. In capitalism, the people, they are part of the businesses. So shares must be sold to them so they can take part in the what we call people enterprise capitalism. And so there are many things that we can do. We can produce fridges, we can produce stoves, we can produce tin coconut milk.
Agri-processing.
What about the coconut water?
Coconut water. There are so many things we can produce using the things that we have here.
Okay.
And Guyana, before PPP, used to produce fridges already.
Okay.
Because people told me you had a company named GRL. Used to make fridges.
Okay.
Why we can't make it? Only couple months ago, some young boys, they took some styrofoams and they made a freezer with it.
Wow.
Young
That's
boys
nice.
from Guyana.
Okay. I don't wish to cut you, but I just want to tell the viewers out there that our lines are open and we can take your calls now. Ms. Nadir, would you like to add anything else to what Mr. Roy is saying?
I was
with
going to
respect
give you an opportunity to speak and address the crime fighting plan, or some aspects of because time is going to address some of the aspects of the crime fighting plan.
Okay. Before we lost that call. I was about to take the call. Well, we have a call, so let me take the call. Good evening, caller.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
I would like to know how I can join the party. How I can be part of the TUF.
The TUF. Okay, I will allow Ms. Nadir to answer your question.
You can give us a call, or you can also send us an email at theunitedforcegy@gmail.com. We have our Facebook page. You can like that. You can phone us on 623-7799.
Yes, I'm watching the program and you have some very simplicity and, simple policy. And the TUF, I was saying the TUF, the truth unfolds falsehood. I just put it in my own terms, and I said every Muslim that who may be watching this program, or every Guyanese who may be watching this program,
Okay.
they can see the truth, the simplicity, and even though it's the election, the campaign is so high at the moment.
Okay, thank you very much. And what you said the TUF stands for by your?
I said the truth unfolds falsehood.
Okay, that's nice.
That's a new one.
Thanks for
Thank
your
you
call.
very much.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Well, we want everyone to support the United Force.
We have a next caller. Good evening, caller. I
Pardon?
can't-
Could you speak up a little bit, please?
Okay, you're calling from leg one.
We don't keep public meetings. We go, we do house-to-house visits, And because of that, there are limitations. We can't go to all houses. So that's why we use the television station to reach out to other brothers and sisters for their support.
What we also try to do in the community outreach programs is try to have some bottom house meetings. So we may be able to go into leg one.
Okay.
We have a next caller on line.
Go ahead.
I think we lost it.
Good. We want everyone to support the United Force, from every race, from every religion. So we call upon the pastors, the pandits, the imams to support us, the nurses, the teachers,
I
the
have a
police
caller.
officers. Everyone, we want them to support the
Good evening,
United
caller.
Force.
Hey, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Educate the people about leader and living. If they want living or they want leader. Islam permits you that, right? Brother, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum
Ask
salam.
the people really if they want leader or they want living.
Okay, before you go, can you give us your insights into what you're telling us
No,
a little
I
bit more?
want living.
You want living,
Right. Okay?
and what do you mean by that?
I am alive. I want living. I have to do things to make myself happy.
Good.
I'm
Okay.
alive. I want to make full use of life.
And do you think we need leaders in our society?
Yeah, we got leaders, but what kind of leaders we have? You're going to take out the pack of the leaders and throw them away, or take them out of one building and put them in the next building well painted?
Well, I think that is where the citizen will come in and they will make the decisions who
Yeah,
and
but
what they
you
want
make
for
a
themselves.
decision without having some sort of knowledge?
Yes. Okay, brother. Thanks.
Thanks so much.
Good. That is what the United Force stands for. To have so that people can live a full life.
The next caller.
Not that your life.
Good
has
evening,
been
caller. You're
controlled.
live. Go ahead.
So, presently, our leaders, they want to control our lives. But the United Force want to open avenues for people to enjoy their life at the fullest while doing so in a legal, permitted way. And so, I want to touch on one of our great leaders in the past. His name is Stephen Campbell. Right?
Can I take this call,
Stephen
please?
Campbell.
Stephen Campbell.
Good evening, caller. I think we lost that one.
Yeah, he was Guyana's first Amerindian parliamentarian since 1957. They were in the National Labour Front, and the National Labour Front eventually became the United Force. And so he fought for the causes of Amerindians since then, like the well-being and advancement of Amerindians. the
Good
land
evening.
use.
Good evening.
Go
Good
ahead.
evening.
Good evening. I think we lost that caller again.
Good. So the things about land demarcation that is happening now is since 1957, Mr. Stephen Campbell, he fought for it. But now the government is trying to do it, but they're moving too slow with it. And so the one who really fought for the Amerindian rights and benefits for them is Mr. Stephen Campbell, and the party that fought for them is the United Force. And on the 12th of May 1966, Mr. Stephen Campbell passed away. And this year will be 49 years since he passed away. On the 11th of May, we have election. So the best gift that you can give as an Amerindian to one who fought for you is to vote for the United Force.
Okay. Okay,
Can I take
Marissa.
one last caller?
The lines are not
Okay.
beeping, but I can try and answer your question with
Yes.
relation to.
I think
We have a call. Good evening, caller. Good evening.
Your program.
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, good evening. I'm
Good
listening to
evening.
your program.
Yes.
Thank you. Are you enjoying it?
Yes.
Would you like to leave a comment?
Your colleague
Go ahead.
having some clear information on the Amerindian. Although I'm not an Amerindian, I think most of what he's saying there is accurate. One question, with the UFB going into this election independently.
Yes, sir.
we will.
Yes.
Well, the TUF will be independent in this election and also after election. We are not collating or joining with any party before election or after election. As I mentioned in one of our programs in Berbice, we, the young people of the United Force, we have learned from our mistakes. That is, we have learned from the mistake that Mr. Peter Digar made to join with the PNC in 1964, and the PNC kicked him out. And we have learned from the mistakes of our former leader Manzoor Nadir. He joined the PPP and the PPP kicked him out. So we don't want to get kicked around like balls, like footballs then. So we will be alone and we will not join any party. We want the betterment for all our brothers and sisters who live in Guyana.
Can I clear it up that we are not alone, we were the people of Guyana.
Yeah.
Okay?
I admire the ground that you stand on a solid ground.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you very much.
Regardless of hello?
Yes.
Yes, go
Yeah,
ahead.
go ahead.
Yes, regardless of the collation, right? I'm not saying you to collate. If you even had that in mind at any time, collating with the PPP that has been kicking the UF around would not have been an accurate thing to do, as you can see what's happening presently. I admire your
Thank you.
program, the way it's been constructed, and the topic.
We have to wrap up now. We have 60 seconds left.
Okay.
Thanks, caller.
Thank you, caller. But in summing up,
Go ahead.
we are not, like Brother Roy said, we are not collating, and we don't need to join with anybody to support if what you are proposing in Parliament is for the best interest of the Guyanese people.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Let us close out.
Well, we were about to answer some questions on crime fighting, but unfortunately we don't have enough time. So in our next program, we will try to deal with a few more of our topics on our agenda, our action agenda, so that the public can get a little bit more information on the actions that the TUF will be taking once we are placed in Parliament for the betterment and the future of all of Guyana. Would you like to say anything else
Yeah, so
before
we
we
need
go?
the support of everyone. So please vote for the United Force. You can give us couple seats now, and in 2020 you give us more seats, and in 2025 you make us the government. But when we prove to you that we are the right people for this country.
Okay. Thank you very much, and do join us for our next program. Good evening.
Good evening.